Hi.
Hi.
For the first time today, I felt a lot of resistance, a lot of thoughts like distracting me. So I was like wanting to keep the
Uh,
focus on the breath.
Aileen, sit with your hands still and just talk. Okay.
Okay. And I really felt a lot of resistance this time. Um, so what can I do when the resistance comes up so hard?
Resistance isn't an unhealthy thing. Resistance means that something in you wants to grow and something in you doesn't want to let it happen. And that really is the battle of dragons inside people, overcoming the resistance. It's a very organic thing. And anyone who truly wants to grow in themselves is going to find resistance. I mean, people are bouncing around here. So I don't think what you just asked is something negative. It just means that you want to expand yourself, you want to grow, and then your system is not used to that. So there's resistance to it. And part of the inner work is learning how to overcome that resistance. And you overcome it by persistence, by having patience and understanding that you and everyone else is full of, you know, defense mechanisms inside, walls that we build to protect ourselves. And this is really an incredible inner battle on the part of a human being. I know when I feel resistance, I don't take it as a negative thing. It just means I'm trying to go to another level in my life. And there's a part of me that says, enough already, enough, just level off and just, and if you want a spiritual life, that leveling off is not possible. So one has to get stronger than the resistance. One has to learn how to use the resistance to grow. And a very good way is to be grateful for your resistance because it's really a sign that you're growing, that something in you wants to get closer to God. So I mean, what you described is not an unhealthy thing, especially in your second class. I mean, a lot of people run away from the kind of meditation I teach because they want a kind of I'm okay, you're okay situation. Well, this is not that type. This is a situation where I'm okay, you're okay, but we both have to grow. And if we both want to grow, then we have to overcome all the resistance inside ourselves to do it. And that is a very healthy situation. I used to go through that with my teacher, his presence. I would just go into, he had a gallery, and I would go in there and I would sit with him in the afternoon, mornings, whenever I had spare time. And his presence was so strong that by the time I had a lot of resistance, I wasn't ready to absorb the totality of his energy. And my resistance came up. And the resistance told me, Stuart, his presence and what he, demands of me as a student is the best thing that could ever happen to me because it's making me grow. It's making me recognize my own limitations and how I have to overcome those limitations, no matter what the resistance is. So, what you described and what you asked is, to me, not an unhealthy thing, Aileen. It's a thing that's very positive. If you didn't feel resistance, I would be very surprised. I would be very surprised, and eventually some people embrace this meditation, but eventually they're going to hit pockets of tension inside them and pockets of resistance. Because as you do this meditation, it takes you deeper and deeper into yourself. And we have more layers of repressed tension inside us that resists the growth. And we need to, it's like drilling for oil. We have to hit those pockets of oil. in order to, so if you have resistance, not unhealthy. It's not unhealthy. It's just showing you that a part of you really wants to grow and a part of you is resisting it. That's all. And the part that really wants to grow has to outdo the part that resists. And you do that by a consistent daily practice of getting stronger inside yourself. I mean, I've been doing this a really long time and I still have resistance, and again, I don't think it's unhealthy. It just shows me, Stuart, you're growing. And there's a part of you that wants to kill yourself. Which part do you want to listen to? The part that wants you not to grow or the part that wants you to grow? After years of doing this, I don't listen to the other part, the negative part anymore. I just use whatever will I have, need I have to grow to overcome the resistance. I always, say it's kind of like the fairy tale with the knight and the dragon, and you got to slay the dragon. And on the other side of every dragon is either a pot of gold or a damsel in distress. I mean, it's a fairy tale that's thousands of years old. And we live that fairy tale in ourselves. On the other side of our resistance is always a pot of gold, always a major step in our spiritual development. Does anyone else have a question? It's true. I used to go sit with Rudy. I'm telling you, I would sit an hour and a half with him. And by the time I left, I felt like a piece of burnt toast. I felt like every piece of resistance in me, every piece of negative, was just burned right out of me while I was there. And at first I was like, holy shit, this is impossible. And then I realized, Stuart, he is showing you what you need to do. His presence, the intensity of his classes, his meditation, his very presence was showing me what I have to do to grow in my life. And I said, this is a major teaching. The intensity of these meditation classes is showing all of us what we have to do to grow in our lives. And I know many people, it kind of chases away. They want, I'm okay, you're okay. Well, everybody's okay. I think everybody is enlightened. The only thing that's missing is that the consciousness of being enlightened. And that's what we're trying to build here. The consciousness of being enlightened. Everybody's enlightened. Everybody has everything that ever was, ever will be, and is. It exists inside them. Everybody is connected to God or they wouldn't be alive. Very few people have any consciousness. So meditation of this nature is building consciousness, developing a chakra system, overcoming our resistance to fulfilling ourselves as human beings. Does anyone else have a question you would like to ask? And I think
Hi,
we all,
Stuart.
yes.
I have a question. I am also new to this, and my question is, I don't feel a lot when meditating.
Hmm?
My question is, I don't feel a lot when meditating, and sometimes I think I'm, being absent-minded, um, and when my attention returns, I start to meditate again. But yeah, I just tend to be absent-minded.
Look, part of what these classes are about is getting training. It's learning how to do it. It's learning how to keep your attention focused in the Tatien. It's learning how to keep your heart open. It's learning how to keep your mind quiet. Because the reason you drift is that you're not focused inside. And you've got to learn how to do all these things. And then as you begin to build a system inside that stays more focused, it gives room for the Shakti, the spiritual energy, to come down and literally nurture the entire inner self. But this takes time. I mean, I think this is the third class you've been to, second, something like that, It takes time. And one of the dangers in life is this thing inside us that thinks we have to be perfect at everything we do. You don't have to be perfect. You have to learn how to grow. The only thing that's perfect in this universe is God. The rest of us have to spend a lifetime learning how to get closer to perfection. And you learn it step by step, meditation by meditation. You build a system. It's like constructing a building. It goes up, brick by brick. You don't start on the penthouse when you build a building. You start in the foundation. So this meditation is very similar to that. You got to start at the foundation, then you got to build a system. I mean, look, I've said it a lot, and I'll say it again. Look, there are three really powerful energies at work in the life of every human being. One of them is life itself, the objective world that we have to deal with every day. This is an extremely powerful energy that distracts everybody. We get swept away in illusion. We get swept away in Maya. We get swept away in the material and this and that, all these other things that, manifest around us. This is a really powerful energy. The second one is spirit. I mean, when you open to spirit, you're opening to energy that is infinite in the universe. This is an extremely powerful force. And in order to absorb that energy, we have to be really strong inside. The third is Kundalini. And Kundalini is the pathway to enlightenment. When you awaken Kundalini from its dormant state at the base of the spine, it is the guide that goes to the crown chakra and into the cosmos, to a oneness with God, spirit, whatever one wants to call that. And these energies are all very powerful. What's missing in a person is the strength to be able to open to these energies, to let them nurture us, to be able to deal with them. And this meditation is about building that kind of inner strength. It takes time, it takes patience. Otherwise, we are at a point in a triangle between karma, spirit, God, and Kundalini. You understand? But we don't have the strength to be able to consciously live at that point. So everything overwhelms us. We lose focus, we lose it. It's just we don't have the inner strength. So that's what this meditation is about, getting that kind of inner strength. And then we can deal with all, if you'll pardon my Bronxese, all the bullshit that goes on in the world, all the madness that goes on in the world. It doesn't throw us off balance. We are strong enough to receive a Shakti, spiritual energy, and that energy goes into each and every one of the chakras and it builds us. But you need the balance inside. You need that harmony inside, the rootedness, to be able to absorb that energy. We're strong enough to activate Kundalini, understand, and allow the soul to move with, extend itself into the cosmos. You have the inner strength to do that. But you got to build that inner strength. It takes time. You have to have patience. And need to do consistent work on oneself in order to build that kind of inner life. Otherwise, we are in the middle of this chaos. I mean, just total chaos. And we try to understand it in our brain, and we never can. We try to make sense of what doesn't make sense. And then it throws everybody for a loop. Instead of building the system that can work out karma, that can receive spiritual energy, that can activate Kundalini and become one with God. And all it's about is learning how to focus in the, as you say in Taoism, the Tatien or the Hara, third chakra, where the rootedness is in a person, the real strength is in a person, and building that foundation so it can support all the rest of it. And let the heart open, because the heart is really the key to everything. Love, unconditional love, forgiveness, compassion, living that way. But you need that power inside to be able to do this. And that you have to, understand. It doesn't happen in a couple of classes. It doesn't happen in a week. It happens over time. And you don't even know when just one day you're living differently. The way you see the world is different. Say, oh my God, what happened? Look, not such a terrible place I'm living in here. It's pretty wonderful. Does anyone else ever? I hope that's clear. Is that clear? I hope so.
Yes. I have another question. Can you feel like what you just described? Can you feel that when you meditate?
Can I do that?
Can you feel that when you meditate?
You will see higher energy. You'll have visions. You'll have all kinds of things. Your whole body will change. The internal mechanism changes. You understand? I mean, yes, it becomes organic to your life. The whole trend, it's really, look, I've been writing this kind of book about Tantra. And in writing the book, I discovered that Tantra is not just in the erotic zone, which they picture Tantra as. Tantra is every single thing that we do in life, that we have to transform ourselves, transform our tension, our insecurities, our anxieties, and build a system doing that is strong enough to be able to do what I just talked about. It's all about transformation. And that's what this is all about, transforming. It's a kind of alchemy, turning everything into gold, metaphorically speaking. It all becomes something wonderful instead of something that terrorizes us, frightens us. But that only happens when a person changes himself. And I can provide a lot of energy. I have these classes, God knows, 7 times a week I do this all over the world. But I can't do it for you. I need your help. I need people to do the inner work and make the effort to change inside. And if they do that, the Shakti, the energy, the power of these classes will go deep inside them and transform them and really help them to grow. Does anyone else have a question? And just to finish with that, have patience. Have patience. Rudy said it just better than somebody asked him, why does it take so long? And blah, 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 da, da. He said, it takes 9 months to have a baby. It takes 1 second to die. And it's just bingo. It's like the hammer hitting the nail right on the head. That little maxim that he said, 9 months and you have to have patience. A good bottle of wine sits for years to build a bouquet, a fruit has to mature and ripen on the tree. Otherwise, it's terrible. Vegetables have to grow, people have to grow. So have patience, let it mature, let it grow, let it really evolve and develop inside you, and understand that the ultimate goal is to free yourself of karma and to be one with God. That's what this is all about. And then you got to deal with the human thing, which is the hardest part of all, dealing with the human thing. Resistance, insecurity, pain, blah, 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 on and on. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, there'll be a meditation. What is today? Monday? Today's Monday, right? There'll be a meditation on Wednesday. And God bless you all. As I say after every class, you all are my teacher. You all, your presence here, it's just so much to help me grow. I just have a lot of gratitude to each and every one of you. So thank you. God bless you all. And there'll be a meditation on Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to seeing you. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.